Hey guys, Jaw Reality here. As you guys know, I am a fist load specialist, self-protection analyst, writer, advisor, and lifelong practitioner, and we're talking about no metal knucks again today, the single knuck. And we've talked about this product a couple different times on this channel, and I'm not sponsored by this company. I have two of them, but I pay for them with my own money, so I'm not obligated to speak highly of this company or poorly about them. But I really don't have much poor to say about this company other than the fact that I've reached out to them a couple different times, 4 different times as a matter of fact, on 3 different platforms, and they've yet to respond. And on Instagram, they definitely saw my message, but just never responded. So, but that being said, I absolutely love this device. It's like I think out of all the devices that No Metal Knucks makes, this is the best. And we're just gonna talk about real quick, like how I use this and how you're supposed to hold it, and the correct way to hold any knuckle ring device, and how I use it. Well, and we're not gonna really go into technique. I don't teach techniques, okay? I feel you get into technique, you start getting into sequence and what's the word I'm looking for? You get into sequence and combinations, and then and when you get into all that, you get into scenario. And Mike Tyson once said, you can't plan a fight. Everybody has a plan. Well, no, Mike Tyson didn't say that. I think Mike Tyson said everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. And Shane Faison from Fight Tips years ago was the one who I heard say that you can't plan a fight. So give a shout out to Shane Faison. I was watching him. We're kind of around the same age, I think. But I remember watching his stuff way back when. I'm not gonna say that his stuff influenced me, because I don't. I was watching his stuff when he said to kick a knife out of somebody's hands. It's like, so that's kind of when I stopped watching his stuff. But I do remember he said something in the video one time, like, you can't plan a fight, and he was talking about have like something good to have if you go into a fight was like a mouthpiece or something. But that's actually a good idea. But that's sort of another video. But anyhow, this video is about we're just gonna give you some concepts, I guess, like tactics that you could utilize. We prefer tactics over techniques because tactics are something that can be adapted. A technique is kind of a specific thing. So first and foremost, if you're holding any knuckle ring type device, it should be something. It should look like this. It should be in line with this row of knuckles. It shouldn't be like that. Okay. And anytime you see somebody acting like they know what they're talking about a knuckle ring type device, a brass knuckles, stuff like that, and they're holding them like this, and they're like, oh, when I hit something, it hurts real bad, because I see it all the time on YouTube and social media. Social media allows people to put out bad information into the atmosphere. That's what I always say. But anytime you see people holding them like this, you should just click out of that video, okay, or don't watch that, and don't listen to those people, because they're demonstrating they don't know what they're talking about when they're talking about a knuckle ring type device. You never want to wear them like this. Greg Tampon, I'm talking to you over at Tampon Tactical. Okay, dude makes a bunch of knuckle ring type devices. Oh, they're not. My devices aren't knuckle dusters or brass knuckles or whatever. Well, they're definitely knuckle ring type devices. That's what they're geared as. And almost every illustration of him holding them and whatever he's holding them like this, he doesn't even know what he's doing. He talks like he's an expert, but just because you make something, just because you're a maker, doesn't mean you're an expert. And I mean, that's a story for another day as well. But anyhow, that's how a knuckle ring device should be lined up, with these set of knuckles. And people have a problem with brass knuckles and stuff, and they've had this problem for years, because they're like, when I hit with brass knuckles, it hurts back on my own hand. And that's because people don't understand these devices. They don't understand too, like, a lot of the people who make these devices don't make a bunch of different sizes for everybody. So you may get a knuckle ring device that doesn't fit you correctly, and it was never made for your hand. You may have a big hand, and you just won't ever be able to use it correctly. And that's why No Metal Knucks makes several different sizes, and they have a size chart. I kind of found that maybe their size chart might run a little big. I don't know. Maybe it's better to be safe than sorry, though. It's better to get something that's a little too big than too small, because I have the single knuck. I have the small single knuck, and it's too small. It will never work. It's like I'll break my finger with this because I can't put it on correctly. It's like I can put it on over here. I have to twist it to get it on past this knuckle, but I can't get it to sit over that knuckle correctly. It would just have to sit right here and it could work, but it doesn't feel good. It feels very, very, very uncomfortable. You have to have the right size knuckle ring device. You're gonna have a knuckle ring device, and if you don't have the right size, it's not gonna be anything worth having. And that's why No Metal Knucks is really, really good. And they make different sizes, but some people I've seen, they hold it like this right here. I've been training with this device for I think around 2 to 3 months now. I've trained with it like this. I saw some people hold it like this. This is not a good way to hold it. I just wouldn't recommend that at all. A lot of people hold it like this. I found holding it like this is ideal. And it opens up the door for a bunch of different things. It's we're not going to teach any techniques here, but we're going to show you some tactics that you can utilize right here on Justin Chin Bob. A bob is a great thing to have. Great investment. But understand there's always going to be pros and cons to having a bob. A bob is anatomical. It doesn't move. Okay, it doesn't hit back. So you're not ever going to get a real sense of the dynamics of the movement of the situation with a bob. But what a bob can do, and what makes a bob light years better than a heavy bag for self-defense and stuff like that, is that it's anatomical. It represents what a human body actually looks like and where those targets are going to be. A condo about a bob on that is that it doesn't automatically have arms. Okay, but you can get arm vests for bobs, but still, if you get them just standard, it doesn't come with arms. And what we always have to understand that is when we're training on a bob, you always got to visualize the fact that it's like a human being's going to have arms, and if they know that the fight's happening, it's not a sucker punch, you didn't just knock them out, they know the fight's happening, they're probably going to have their dukes up, so it's not just going to be open season to eat this guy's ribs up and stuff like that. It's something you got to think about. And if you think about that, Duke's going to be up. So maybe you want to try and, you know, come in here and distract, throw something up to go low into that hip bone or something, make him drop his defenses down to, you know, go high. You know, that you've heard those saying, go low, you go low, and I'll go high. It's like, maybe go low, you go high. I'll go for that hip, then right to that bone. Right there, you can do these slashing strikes that a lot of people talk about, like in traditional, like brass knuckle forums and stuff, where they say, you know, the brass knuckle is really made to be like a cutting tool, kind of like, really. Yeah, it's like a slashing and stuff. And you could really do that when you have this single knuck on this ring finger here. You know, if you look, I can just really do those slashing strikes. I'm not trying to cut this guy open. I don't know if this will cut him open, because this isn't metal. But I can do those strikes, and they're devastating. And so you come into the neck, like, you gotta understand if it's a life and death situation or a situation where you're in fear for your physical well-being, it's like you gotta do what you gotta do to end the fight. E-N-E, that's part of Cyrano right there. Engage, neutralize, next situation. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Hitting the person in the throat may be what you gotta do. It may be catastrophic damage, and you just gotta prepare for that. It's like you gotta weigh out everything that you do, like in any type of situation. You gotta understand that. But I mean, those are some of the tactics. I mean, you could hit. I shouldn't have to. The best thing to do is to get like there's a Marine Corps manual. Like, it's a precursor to McMap. It's like what came after Line and was in between Line and then McMap. And if you don't know what Line and McMap is, Line was the Marine Corps' like combative program before McMap, which is the current Marine Corps combative program, if I'm correct right now, and that they changed it yesterday. Like, since McMap is like the Marine Corps martial arts program or something like that. Well, there was a program before that, which was just called Line. And Line was just very, very, like, it was all about killing. Like, you know, stomp your opponent. Like, if you look up anything about Line, I mean, it was just all about killing. Like, so the Marine Corps, like, they decided, yeah, maybe it's a little bit brutal. Maybe, and sometimes we don't always need to kill the people that we're, like, dealing with. We may need to detain them and question them and stuff like that. And this combative program that we're using, Line, just doesn't really have anything about that. It's just all about, like, stomping their skulls in. So we need to come up with something a little better. And so they came up with this program that, like, I studied deeply. You know, I have the field manual, really, really great program. Studied it right alongside Krav Maga. It's really similar to Krav Maga as well. But it was made for, you know, Marine Corps soldiers, and you can buy it. And it's what they use. It was a precursor to what became McMap. And it's just McMap without all the jargon that comes with McMap, which is like their Marine Corps ethos and the martial arts stuff and whatever. But the point is, in that, what I'm getting to is it teaches you the anatomy of a fight, basically. It teaches you, like, you know, if you strike this and stuff, there's a whole diaphragm. You know, you may have seen bits and pieces of it in certain places and stuff, but there's a diaphragm that shows, like, all the targets and stuff like that, and that's what is the most important thing to understand. It's like the anatomy of a fight, like where to hit that will cause, like, the most damage and stuff like that. And that's something important that everybody should get. That Marine Corps, I think it's called I forget what it's called, but anyhow, I'll link it. I'll link a picture to it. But just knowing, I shouldn't have to tell you guys, like, there shouldn't be like a technique like, oh, you know, like, eye gouge, punch you in the nut. It's like you can't plan a fight. You cannot plan a fight. You can't plan. It's like you're thinking about this in your brain, and that's taking up space in your brain, and you're thinking about, oh, I'm gonna do this and whatever. As Mike Tyson said, you know, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Okay, you had a plan, now you get your teeth knocked out. It's like, so you just need to go with the flow. That's why you train repetition. You train the trajectories and the angles. There's 4 trajectories, and off those 4 trajectories, there's 8 angles of attack. And once you train all those and you do it repetitively, it becomes first nature to you. And you train it until it becomes first nature, and then, you know, things just kind of flow into place. You know, you just see the openings and you just take them. You know, like if his ribs are open, I'm gonna eat those ribs up. You know, it's like a door. You know, if that door is open, I'm going through it. You know, once he shuts that door, like his ribs are open, like he shuts the door by dropping the elbow. Well, now I'm going to the jaw because he shut the door here. But when he shut the door here, the door opened up here. And that's how you need to think about it. But that's how I would advise to utilize this device. Hey, I'm Draw Reality. This has been a video from the RSP channel. You guys take it easy.